If you could go back in time and play old Clash of Clans, would you? For a lot of people, the answer may be yes. I would love to relive some memories of the good old days when Clash of Clans was simple, bare bones, and had this charm to it that is hard to explain. And with recent events, it seems like Clash is getting worse. But is it really? Were the good old days even that good? Or is it just nostalgia? I want to start by saying that this video is not about how trash modern Clash has gotten and how much better the old days were. I actually like a lot of things about Clash of Clans today, and I can't imagine a day without a training potion. But despite so many great things that have been added throughout the years, Clash just doesn't feel the same, and I wanted to talk about some things that may be the reason behind that. First and foremost, I can't talk about anything else without addressing the elephant in the room. Nostalgia. It's a real thing, and definitely a reason a lot of us think the old days were so great. We experience nostalgic feelings about a lot of things, and games is one of them. All of the countless hours that we spent doing nothing but farming, trophy pushing, chatting with people in the clan and global, designing our own bases or copying them from YouTube, and if you were a kid at the time like me, we had no responsibilities. You could clash all day if you wanted to, and life was great. It's easy to look back and miss what we can never return to, even if the present is great. Nostalgia tends to make us feel that the past is somehow superior to the present, and it has a very strong effect on how you perceive the past, or the good old days. That's why it's important to understand that when we have nostalgic memories, we tend to ignore anything bad during that time. Clash of Clans wasn't exactly the best experience back then either. People tend to forget that there were no magic items, no super troops. Cheating in the game was very prevalent. There were tons of balancing issues, armies took forever to train, getting loot was harder, and everything was so much more expensive. And while those things aren't necessarily bad, depending on how you see it, and it may not have negatively impacted all of us, these are still things people tend to block out or forget when they think of the good old days. And I kind of do the same thing in this channel. But it's not just nostalgia. Nostalgia isn't the only reason people think of the good old days. That would be silly. There has to be more, and there is. And I want to talk about it. Simplicity is subjective. Some people argue that Clash of Clans is too bloated nowadays, but if they travel back to 2015, they would probably think the game is way too simple and empty, with nothing to do. It's a bit of a paradox, really. Personally, I wouldn't say Clash is too bloated, but I have to agree, it does get overwhelming, and at times it can feel like a part-time job if you want to progress as fast as possible and not feel like you'll fall behind. Completing clan wars and special events feel essential for your hero equipment upgrades. Raid weekends is a must for those sweet trader deals. Clan games offer some of the best free rewards in the game. Clan War League provides even more ores and hammers that can put your progression on a fast track. And if you don't have the 6 builder, why aren't you working on those auto tasks? And don't forget about the season challenges. Is Clash of Clans becoming too much to handle? Well, I don't think so. You can certainly handle all of that without playing every day. I do it myself. I'm not on 3 hours a day trying to juggle all of this. But I do believe that Clash of Clans has lost a lot of its simplicity. I mean, there's almost a dozen currencies. Some people love that there is so much to do in different areas of the game. You can really get immersed in the grind and feel like you accomplished a lot in one session. But others really miss the time when you could simply get on, do a few attacks and get off, and not feel like you made absolutely no progress. Yes, it was bare bones and there was less to do, but that was the beauty of it. Modern Clash of Clans feels like it's designed to consume much more of your time, and this artificial scarcity of resources doesn't help its case. But again, simplicity is subjective, and for Clash of Clans, it's a double-edged sword. For some people, this may be the reason they have returned to Clash. This was the missing link. There's so much to do, and there's finally a reason to play and have fun again. But for others, Clash of Clans losing its simplicity may be a key factor behind the meaning of the good old days. Fear of missing out, or as some people know it as, FOMO, is exactly what it sounds like. It's our inherent desire to not want to be left out or miss an opportunity. Games utilize FOMO to their advantage all of the time. It's everywhere now, and chances are, if you're playing an online service game, especially one with a season pass, they're utilizing this psychological concept to get you to play more or spend money. Games leveraging FOMO isn't exactly a bad thing, however, it's just how they use it. For a long time in Clash of Clans, the only thing you'd miss out on is special obstacles. If you were inactive during a holiday and failed to secure that sweet old exclusive rare obstacle, well, sucks for you. But who cares, right? It's just a little decoration in the game. Maybe you missed out on some bragging rights, but it's not the end of the world. Everyone is gonna progress the same way, regardless if they have that obstacle or not. This was the case from 2012 to 2017, and it required no purchase, no grinding, or playing the game for that matter. Over the years, Clash of Clans would capitalize on this aspect of the game with purchasable decorations, skins, and sceneries. But the general consensus on all of that is that you don't need it, so it really doesn't matter all that much. Exclusive cosmetics may induce a fear of missing out, but it's arguably the fairest way to do it. But in December 2023, hero equipment was introduced. This is not a rant on them, it's one of my favorite features. The unique ways you can change a battle by simply using different equipment is awesome, and I genuinely mean it. I've been a huge advocate for something like this in the game. But the problem is the way you obtain and upgrade this equipment. Epic equipment can only be found in limited time events. These events are not only essential for your equipment progression, as they provide scarce ores to upgrade them, but also, unless you want to pay the equivalent of $15 for the equipment later, you have to grind the event to get it. And even though there's cool decorations, skins, and magic items that you may want to buy instead, the fear of missing out is a huge decision factor here. And OP equipment is a no-brainer, especially to avoid paying for it later when it may already be nerfed. So you give up all of the other stuff that you wanted and buy the equipment. You don't want to miss the opportunity. And well, now that you have the equipment, you have to upgrade it. At level 1, it's practically useless. But the ores needed for the upgrade cannot simply be looted from bases like traditional upgrades in Clash. Instead, only through specific means like the star bonus, wars, and buying it, whether by trades or money. So you end up playing more, grinding to upgrade this equipment. Can't take a break now, or never. I can't afford that. I gotta get it stronger while it's meta, right? And then I'll repeat this month after month. You don't want to feel left out. The fear of missing out is a strong feeling, and gaming companies know this. It increases player retention and influences them to spend more money. But it's important to understand that not everyone will fall prey to these tactics. Me and my wife talk about Clash sometimes, and I'm amazed at how little she cares or even acknowledges the new equipment. They say you are your own worst enemy when it comes to FOMO, and maybe they're right, but it doesn't mean it should be used this way. In what some consider the good old days, this was unheard of. But if there's one main reason they do it, is money. The general argument when talking about monetization in Clash of Clans is that you don't have to buy anything. So, end of discussion. What else is there to talk about? Is hero equipment pay to win? Is this pay to win? Is that? Everything that matters in Clash of Clans is obtainable for free. The only thing you pay for is cosmetics and to speed up your progress, and that still remains true years later. Things could be much worse. Clash of Clans for over a decade has been a free-to-play friendly game, and while you don't need to buy anything, it seems year after year the game tries very hard to push you to do just that. 10 years ago, I know, ancient history, there was nothing to buy in Clash of Clans but gems. That's it, gems. No offers, no cosmetics, pay to change your name or unlock a base, no pass, or the diamond pass that they didn't want to call a diamond pass. None of that. For the most part, it remained this way for almost 4 years, and man, do I miss it. When you got on to play some good old Clash of Clans, you weren't constantly reminded about money. Everyone knew that gems were a thing, but it didn't feel like the game was pushing it on you. Now, I don't want to go through the history of monetization, so let's fast forward to today. Where do I start? This won't be as long as you think. So offers have been a thing for a while, as far back as 2015, 2016, around there. Back in those days, they used to rarely come around, usually for special occasions. But over the years, they've been showing up more. It almost feels like every day a new one appears. This isn't that big of a deal though, it's kinda like buying gems but a better value. If anything, you could argue that it's good. But it's just annoying. The constant reminders. It's the first thing that appears when you click the shop. Remember when this was the first thing you saw? Basically everything that requires gems or money feels the same way. It's in your face. The Gold Pass, Event Pass, Goblin Builder, Apprentice Builder, Streak Event, a skin set, and scenery literally every month. You can gem this and that and that. Don't have enough event medals? Then just buy it. When is it gonna stop? And like we mentioned earlier, the fear of missing out is a huge component in this. It doesn't feel right. But once again, you don't have to buy anything. Regardless, I included it in this video anyway because it seems Supercell puts in a lot of effort to just get you to spend a single dime. Remember when they put all of that effort into their updates? Most updates today create frustrations and then they turn around and sell you the relief. How can we monetize this great feature feels like one of their biggest priorities. Do you have a problem that we created? Well, we came up with the perfect solution, but it'll obviously cost you. When I open the game today, I'm constantly reminded about money, and this makes the experience slightly less enjoyable and annoying. It degrades the experience. No matter what anyone says, the game just doesn't feel like it used to, but maybe there's more to that feeling that is not the game's fault. When I started playing Clash of Clans, it was 2013 and I had just turned 14. Today, I'm 25, married with 2 kids, have to work a lot, and in college. Life is different to say the least, and I know my situation is not unique. Many of us are in the same boat, and maybe the issues I talked about today are only issues because we grew up. There's no doubt that Clash of Clans has changed a lot, but so have we. So what if Clash of Clans has lost its simplicity? It's more engaging than it ever has been. So what if the game tries to make you play and spend more? Isn't every game doing that today? I could have talked about this when discussing nostalgia earlier, but I didn't feel like it was the same discussion. I don't want to play Clash of Clans today because I'm trying to relive some childhood memories. I play because I still enjoy the game. But I've come to the sad realization that the older I get, the less I enjoy the game as a whole, and this can be for a number of reasons like time, excitement, and motivation. Time is one of the main ones, and when we have such limited time throughout the day for Clash, if at all realistically, the issues discussed earlier may impact us more compared to someone who has an abundant amount of time. Then there's excitement. How often do you get as excited as you used to get to open the game and farm for hours? Sometimes Clash doesn't even come across my mind anymore. And then there's motivation. Would you rather spend hours farming or go out with the family or friends, do something together and meaningful, make new memories? There are many things in life that can impact just how much we enjoy Clash compared to when we were younger and had less responsibilities. Sometimes when we think of the good old days, we may not be directly referring to old Clash of Clans, but the time in which we were playing it. It's not nostalgia. Old Clash of Clans was great, but as you can see, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Thanks for watching.
Why don't we just use that boat?
Sir,